UFC 292 just wrapped up, and I know what's going on. Why am I in this new white room, guys? If you guys don't know, if you guys have been following along, I am on vacation, guys. You guys know I upload every day, and I have uploads already planned. But for these kind of news topics, I'm gonna be seen here. So just enjoy that for the next, couple weeks, whatever the case is. But guys, well, not weeks. I'm not like that. But guys, UFC 292 just wrapped up, and wow. I can't believe we live in a world where Sean O'Malley is a champion. I'm going to give some of my light thoughts, and then when I come back, I'll give some, deeper breakdowns, things like that. But yeah, I mean, I'm just shocked about, Suga Sean O'Malley. First of all, I said from the get-go, my brain said Aljo, my heart said O'Malley, right? What I meant by this is like, look, you look at Aljamain, right? He's a better wrestler. He has the better resume, right? He took down Henry Cejudo, Olympic gold wrestler, took out Petr Yan, took out, TJ Dillashaw, right? Took out all of these guys. He's on a massive win streak. The champion, the confidence is with him. Everything was on the side of Aljamain Sterling, except for the fast turnaround and the, alleged injury, which I'll get into. But all of it was on the side of Aljo. It didn't go that way. And what I meant was my heart was telling me Sean, because it felt like that was where we were heading, right? The momentum was sort of going toward Sean O'Malley. And and basically Sean O'Malley, first round, very boring. At first, I honestly thought we were gonna see Carlos Esparza versus Rose Namajunas 2 type situation where they're very slow in the beginning. And it was very hard for them to get started. And that was the case. Aljo really didn't shoot for a takedown. I expected him to be very more pressure, which you did in the first, minute, and then eventually kind of settled in. O'Malley was actually pressing on Aljamain, which if you guys recall, I said was a bad thing. You cannot rush on O'Malley if you're Aljo, especially as we saw, which we're going to get into later. But when you can't stay in the middle, because the guy is a sniper. And once O'Malley settled into the fight and said, hey, you know what, I could defend these takedowns. I could do all this and that. I gave the first round to Aljo. Thought he won it with the clinch. Thought he won it with the leg kicks. Thought you have to give it to Aljo. Then eventually, the fight goes on. Second round, we see Sean O'Malley defend his second takedown. Okay, then we see, okay, you know what? He's legit. He can actually defend these takedowns. And I think from there, Sean realized, hey man, I could take this guy. I'm strong. I could defend these takedowns. Got his confidence. Then Aljo rushes in the southpaw stance with the left hand. Sean O'Malley slips back, right hand close to the chin. I think if it landed maybe a few centimeters lower, we would have saw Aljo out cold. It was a perfect right hand, similar to Conor McGregor or Jose Aldo, except different stances, but it was very similar. And we saw Aljo. I thought Aljo was out. I thought Aljo was out cold at first. Seemed pretty dazed on the floor. Follow-up shots, I thought they were going to put Aljo out. Aljo was, had his wits about him. Early stoppage, a lot of people are saying, don't know if I necessarily agree with that. However, I could see it because, at the end of the day, Aljo is the champ. He did get up pretty fast. Could he have survived? Maybe, but I think most likely we would have just saw O'Malley follow-up shots and maybe even KO Aljamain cold. You know what I mean? And that's not good as a fighter. You don't have that longevity taken from you. You know what I mean? So for Aljo looks bad on. He just rushed in. Like I said, you cannot rush in against O'Malley. He is a perfect counter striker, great reflexes and everything like that. And that's just what happened. Apparently, O'Malley wants Vera. Vera won earlier that night. I want to get into some of the other fights as well. But Vera apparently won. Well, not apparently. Vera did win against Pedro Munoz. I thought Munoz was going to win by decision. Close decision. So some people saying robbery. I gave it to Pedro the first time. I want to rewatch it because I wasn't paying attention to one of the rounds. I think it was the second round. In the beginning, I had to fix something with the fight. But so I kind of got that part messed up for me. But I do want to rewatch it when I get a chance and see who really won the fight. But regardless, apparently they're going to have the rematch. If you guys remember, Vera obviously beat O'Malley a couple years ago, 3 years ago, whatever it was. And it was kind of a fluke win, in my opinion. I think O'Malley beats him in the rematch. We're going to get into that into another video. That's a whole other discussion on its own. But apparently that's the fight. Does Vera deserve it? Absolutely not. Let's be honest. He just lost to Corey, beat Pedro Munoz, number 10th in the world. Now he's number 6. Does he deserve to? No. Let's be honest, guys. But Corey's out. Vera's out. Not Vera. Corey's out. Merab's out. Umar's out. But Umar doesn't deserve the title shot either. But I think Aljo, he deserves the title shot. I think he deserves a rematch. He looked a little off in there. There were talks of a bicep injury going into the fight. He did take this fight on very short, kind of a short turnaround rather. And I think the UFC should give him that title shot back. you return in August, very fast turnaround. We don't see champions come back that fast. Think about Leon Edwards. They wanted to fight in July, and he said, "Go fuck yourself," right? So I think they deserve, I think Aljo deserves it. Give them their immediate rematch. Don't think they're gonna go that route, however. And for Aljo, what's next for him, man? I have a feeling they're just gonna feed him to bantamweights. Maybe Umar. I could see them giving him to Umar, and probably it's going to be O'Malley versus Vera in December. But some of the other guys, Weili looked amazing, dominant performance. The judging was a little crazy this night, or last night rather. Crazy judging from Weili, from the Weili decision where they actually gave Lemos 1 round. How do you do that? I mean, Lemos did land a good right hand one of those rounds, but outside of that, dude, Weili dominated. Love this Weili 2.0 with the grappling. I think she beats Rose, this version of her at least. We'll see though what happens. Also on the card, Ian Garry, Neil Magny, what's up with that beef? Unnecessary beef. I thought at first, Ian Garry was just trying to sell a fight, but no, apparently that's not the case, because afterwards, Ian Garry's flipping him off. What the hell? I don't get it, man. You guys know how I feel about this. You gotta show respect at the end of the day. You guys fought each other. You beat him already. Nothing else you could do as Ian Garry. You give him the ultimate punishment. Make up with the guy. First of all, Neil Magny was not trying to say that he beats his kid or anything like that. Like, it seemed to me like he was kind of just trash talking Ian Garry. That was just how I interpreted it. Seemed like he was just, referring to light spanking, like how you would with like your child, like saying, "Hey, I'm gonna discipline Ian Garry," kind of comparing him to a child. That's what it seemed like to me. As Neil Magny, also, he's like almost in his 40s, has been in the game for a long time, so makes sense, that comparison. Ian Garry took it way too personal. But yeah, whatever, man. I think he lost a lot of fans. Definitely a big mistake. People were finally getting to like this guy, and that's what sucks for him, man. But he did it to himself. People were finally liking the guy when he first came on the scene, UFC 268, I believe he debuted. People shitted on him. Then he started getting good, and people still respect his skill. However, I think a lot of people are going to not like him as much, because Neil Magny is a nice guy. He's a chill guy. I like Neil Magny. And yeah, so I think he lost some fans there. Mario Bautista with a decision win. Disappointing fight there. Chris Weidman losing, just getting his legs destroyed. Didn't do as bad as I thought. I thought he was going to get knocked out. Did really well, even with one leg. And especially, I think once he settled into the fight, did a lot better. So I'm curious to see if he returns, if he gets another fight, what he's going to do. And could he actually win? Because he did look good in those later rounds, in my opinion, at least. Could be wrong, though, depending on what you guys think. But in my opinion, I thought Chris Weidman actually pulled together tough finales. I also want to mention Brad Katona versus Cody Gibson. Crazy fight. One of the best finale fights in tough history. Definitely top 10. You got to give it, right? Kurt Holloway also getting a perfect triangle submission, transitioning that armbar into an arm triangle, or not arm triangle, but just regular triangle, really. And yeah, man, it was a really smooth transition. Beat Austin Hubbard. Predicted that. I got him by knockout. I picked Brad Katona by decision. And Kurt Holloway by KO. Got him by sub. Not bad. And he did knock him down. So honestly, guys, UFC 292, a little disappointing other than the main event. I was disappointed. And yeah, all in all, normally I give you guys more edited videos, more things, but this is just my raw reaction because I don't have my whole setup. But when I get back, guys, you guys know I'm going to come back with some fire, crazy videos on the way. I had some stuff pre-recorded, so don't worry, there's going to be a lot more high content. But yeah, I wanted to give you guys this just to tell you my reaction, guys. Crazy card, but a lot of decisions. A little disappointed. Thought it was going to be a bit better. Those are my thoughts. But the main event definitely made up with it, with O'Malley KOing Aljamain. Crazy stuff, guys. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys thought about the video, what you guys thought about the fight. Thank you guys for watching. You guys are the best fan base in MMA, and I'll see you guys in the next one.